Today I'm going to talk about fear. Fear is something that has been controlling my life for my entire life. The second my little brain could start thinking is the day that I decided to just completely let fear take complete control of my life. I believe fear to be a very relatable human emotion. I think it's something that everyone deals with and is affected by, and that so many people let fear control their lives entirely. And I also believe it's imperative for you and I to overcome it in order to live a more fruitful life. And while I'm talking about this, I'm going to be moving houses. I'm going to take all my valuables and I'm going to get the hell out of here, because as much as I love the snow, I think I want something more tropical. I definitely want a mountainside, and I want an ocean. And I want to make a beautiful little deck where I can just talk to you guys and perhaps fish. It's funny that I'm talking about fear as well, right? When I don't know if you guys have watched the Dune movie, but it's a big thing that is recited for the main characters, that fear is the mind killer. I mean, to be honest, there's so much fucking truth to that. Fear is, quite frankly, the devil. Like, I'm not even religious, but like, I just mean like, it's so evil and it's so polluting and it's just so, it's so hurtful. And I understand that, obviously, right? I get it. Fear is a pretty big human emotion for humans. You know what I mean? Come on. It's kept you alive. But in a world where threats are not so often, in terms of a ginormous tiger coming to eat you. Oh, I should probably take my obsidian, huh? Oh. I don't think people in this day and age where people are being raised by the internet and seeing less and less real, genuine social interactions, and aren't really being taught how to socially interact because they're misunderstood by their parents or past friends, just by society as a whole. You feel misunderstood. I don't think that breeds confidence, right? I think in order to defeat fear, you need to be courageous and you need to have that sense of bravery. And I feel like that courage and being brave, I feel like it all stems from our childhood. And if you didn't have that, which, to be completely honest, when I was younger, I didn't have any wins. I feel like a lot of people's bravery comes from when they were younger and they have a very big memory of achieving something so big that it's like you understand what it feels like to be courageous and to be brave and to win. Like, you won and you did it and you were so special. I don't really feel like I have a moment. I don't really feel like I have that feeling inside of me. So it's like when I am fearful, or when I am down, when I'm not confident, which I guess is fear, I don't have that feeling to fall back on of like, no, I got this. I mean, I do just keep pushing through the fear, but it's like, I don't know when I'm going to win, you know, like I'm fearful of losing, but I'm still going to go through with it. But I'm scared. I'm so scared. And it's so hard to be courageous because I don't even know what winning feels like. I don't even know what that feeling is going to be when I do feel fulfilled. It's like, I'm fearful of losing, but at the exact same time, I'm also fearful of not finding that courage. So, and I guess in turn, it gives me courage, which is a weird little paradox. But all right, I'm going to begin my journey on this beautiful, oh my God, it's almost nighttime. Maybe I should just sleep. But I feel like so many people feel that same way. And the fear is just too debilitating that you just can't overcome it. You can't just muster up the courage and push through it and it's just awful, because it's imperative to overcome this in order to live a fruitful life. I've always dealt with fear in my life. I feel like fear has completely controlled my life for many, many years. Just like absolutely had a grasp over me. Everything, every choice I made, it was all out of fear. You know, fear of being rejected, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of failing. Fear of rejection. I'll I have one or two specific experiences in mind. I think I'd like to share in terms of fear, and then I'll talk about how I kind of try to push through it in this day and age. I've had my fair share of fear dominating my life. And oh my God, this is just beautiful. And I'll share two big ones with you guys, and then I'll just kind of, I'll like literally rapid fire like events in my life that I feel like were chosen by fear and not chosen by the true voice in my heart. My first real girlfriend was this girl I dated senior year of high school. And to be completely honest, I didn't even really like her. And we were on I love you terminology. Like, that's what we were saying to each other. I love you. And I didn't feel that way. But we started dating because something extremely traumatic happened to her, and we were really good friends. We had started talking and we started to hit it off, but I was kind of reserved. I mean, this is the first time like I've actually been intimate with a girl in terms of like actually, you know, like, could this be somebody I genuinely date? And I hadn't really, you know, fully understood who she is and really gotten to know her in her entirety for me to make that judgment call. But then something extremely traumatic happened to her, and my feelings were involved with that as well. And she was just so tormented by her pain. I wanted to be there for her. You know, this is so fucking cool, this fucking biome. Look at these fucking mountains, man. This is beautiful. After about a week of like consoling her because I had just felt so bad and I cared about her well-being, because I was, you know, I feared for her doing something awful, and I didn't want her to be sad because what she was going through was so fucking diabolical. I would do anything for her. I felt so fucking awful. And she like started to ask like, hey, you know, can we date now? Like, you basically, can you be my boyfriend? Like, you were so nice to me, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I had a bit of feelings for her, and they were like slightly romantic, but I wasn't all the way in it, man. I just wasn't, you know. If you out there have been in love, you know what I mean? You know when you're in it, and I just did not have that feeling. I did not. And I felt horrible. But I said yes because I was fucking fearful. I was fearful of, oh my God, just look at this. And you say, when you know, you just know. You know what I mean? And that wasn't the case here. And I feel really bad, but I was so fucking scared of what would have happened. I was scared of if I had said no. I was scared of rejection. I was scared of losing her as a person. And to be completely fucking honest, I was like scared for her life. I was honestly scared that after what had just fucking happened to her, if I had said no, if I had been like, no, actually, I'm not going to date you after what had happened, that she wouldn't have understood. Like, and I feel like she would have been way too fucking hurt by it. And I was honestly scared because there were talks of, you know, doing something bad to herself. And I was so fucking fearful of just anything like that because, you know, you're a follower of this channel. I am pretty sensitive when it comes to suicide because my friend had killed himself in 2017. And it's kind of a big thing for me. Like, obviously, I'm okay with the jokes. I think they can be funny if done right. And but the big thing for me is when someone's actually feeling it. I can't let that just you know, go by. Like, you know, if a friend ever tells me like, yo, I'm thinking of doing this, I will take it so fucking serious, you know? And so this girl tells me this kind of shit, and you know, I don't know what to do. I'm fucking, how old am I actually? How old am I? I think How old am I when I think I'm 17 when this is happening. Yeah, so so she's 18, I was 17. Okay, so I was 17. I'm a 17-year-old kid, you know? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's my first girlfriend, and this girl's feeling this awful. Like, what am I gonna fucking do? Am I just gonna fucking tell her no? I mean, realistically, I should have, I should have told her no. But that's not the case. And I told her yes. And we started dating. And I would say it was, obviously, I did fucking care about her, but I didn't have that magic. There wasn't that, like, spark for me, even when we first started. Look how fucking beautiful this is, man. That is just spectacular. But yeah, I didn't know what the fuck to do. And we started dating. We're dating for a long fucking time, to be honest. We dated for about a year, a little over a year and a month or two. And I remember it really started to settle in because I was a senior in high school and she was already a freshman in college. So she said she wanted to, or when I chose my college, I was going to move away, and she started to follow me, and that's when it really hit me like, yo, I really am affecting this woman's life off of a decision I made off of fear. But I was still so fearful because it was still the situation that happened to her was still affecting her. And obviously I fucking cared about her. I don't know. I didn't have that magic. I didn't have that spark, but I did care about her. So I thought, you know what? It's okay. Like, we can keep dating. But it felt like, it felt like I was living a lie because I don't know. I felt so bad. Like, I felt like she was feeling more than me. I always felt like I had this inner monologue of being upset with myself or being like, what are you fucking doing? Like you shouldn't be dating her. And eventually we broke up. And I remember, like, this is fucking so depressing, but I felt a sense of relief. Like, I felt like this pain had been lifted off my shoulders. And I don't know, I was so scared to do it. But when I actually did do it, like, I felt good. Like, I don't feel like that should always be the case, right? Like, you break up with someone and you feel good, even though they've been like a decent human being to you. I don't know. It just, oh God, it made me feel gross that I felt like that. Like, I felt guilty. And you want to know why? It was because I made that decision in fear. It wasn't like me. It wasn't me through and through that made that decision with 100% certainty. That was a fearful version of me that made that decision, and I had to live with it, and I had to deal with it. And it was like, I don't know. I just felt like it just felt so wrong. Oh my God, Lush Caves. This is, oh God, so fucking cool. But we're moving on. I'm not going to explore because I have enough iron and shit. In a real perfect world, I should have just, to be honest, I should have just either said no or started dating her, and then before we moved to college, told her, hey, I don't think we can continue. But I didn't. Another time that I felt this fear was when I wanted to... Are those emeralds? What the fuck? When I wanted to quit my business. The first business that I was a part of... Is there any bones? No, it's unfortunate. That I was a part of, I quit. And it was after a while, and there was a lot of people involved. We had like a 5-person team. The company was doing decent, but it was not going in the direction I had wanted. Everyone had... I really was speaking my mind and really trying to make things work, but everyone started to not listen to my advice and just be okay with the fact that we were going down in revenues. And I wanted to change some stuff up. We had some money. I wanted to test some things. But it just got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore because it was just, it was almost hurtful, But it just wasn't going the way I had hoped. I wasn't seeing any fulfillment, to be honest. I didn't feel like in my daily life, even if I was making money, I didn't feel like I was happy. So, as a person who is extremely, extremely about being happy and finding riches, not just in money, but in your everyday life and how content you are. And, we only get to live here once. That was not something I was going to put up with. But I put off the decision to quit for like 3 months because I was so fearful, I was so fearful to say anything, that I basically let it fizzle out. I remember everyone had moved to Texas and I was still in California. So I was like, you know what? I'll move to Texas with them. Fuck it. I remember, going with them, and keep in mind, like, I had already wanted to quit. This decision was basically made in fear because I didn't want to deal with the confrontation of being like, hey guys, so basically I'm out. Oh my God, I was over there before. Like, hey guys, I'm out. I just couldn't do it. So I moved to Texas. I literally stayed there for, I think, 3 weeks. And after the second day, I was like, yeah, this is not going to work out. Like, it's cool and all, but I'm not getting fulfillment. I don't feel like I'm helping humanity in any type of way. And I don't know. I was really trying to turn my life around at that point. Like, I would say that was like the turning point, starting of a turning point for my life. Like, to become a better person, to be a person with like no enemies and to harbor no hate, and to treat people and women, specifically women, with much, much more respect. And that was the era I was on, and it didn't seem like the other people were in that same, headspace. So I was like, all right, that was the time I like made the decision, like, I'm out. But I was there for literally like 3 weeks, and guess fucking how long it took me to say something? 3 weeks. I didn't say shit. I remember I fucking bought a plane ticket because, like, these are my friends. These are my friends that I made this business with, and it was succeeding. And they knew I had cold feet now because of like all of these new changes and no one listening to me. They knew that. And so I just, like, I don't know. I could not fucking tell them. And I remember I had bought the plane ticket. I told my family I was coming home already. And then I remember literally, like, my plane was at 1 a.m. or like 11 p.m., something like that. And I had told them at like 9, like, yo, I'm out. And they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're out. I was like, yeah, I got a plane ticket. I'm going home. I can't do this fucking thing. And so literally I was like down to the wire, to the point where it was like I felt like I was going to be late for my plane ticket. I couldn't bring enough courage to deal with the fear of telling them that, hey, I'm leaving. And I literally told them, like, isn't that fucking ridiculous? I was almost late for my plane ticket just because I couldn't say I was going back home. But that was like step one. And at that point I had already wanted to leave, but I just told him, like, yo, I'm not going to move to Texas. I'll still work on the business, but I'm going back home. And then I just kind of let it fizzle out. Like, I started to work on some other personal stuff, and just over time kind of stopped working, and they stopped paying me. So I was like, all right, it's like, it's kind of done. And then I remember they wanted me to come back, but they didn't even really ask me. Okay, whatever. I'm getting too deep and being sidetracked. I let that drag out for so long and let myself, and then when I told them, hey, I'm done, the relief was insane. The flight home was almost, it was emotional to the point where it like almost brought me to tears, because not because like, oh, I'm going home, like, that's so awesome, but over the fact that, like, I finally dealt with my fear. Like, hey, I finally dealt with my fear, and I feel so much fucking better. Like, I feel awesome compared to how I used to feel. And it was basically over, but I didn't have to drag it out that fucking long. I was like, that's the thing, right? It's like fear creates a situation where you literally lie to yourself in terms of what you want. And we're not supposed to live in realities based on lies. That's just not how it's supposed to work. That's just not how it's supposed to work. That's not fulfilling. So you're telling me it's not okay for you to lie to other people, but it's okay for you to lie to yourself? Like, that's not okay. I don't know. It would have been so much better if I had just told them straight up, like, and completely communicated my thoughts. But because I was afraid of confrontation and I was fearful, I didn't. I feel like it led to some destroyed relationships because I let things go on for too long. And I feel like I let myself down for letting it go on for too long. Like I feel like I had wasted time. Like not only mine, but theirs as well. I just all around, I felt guilty once again. I don't want anyone to feel like that. And I wish more people had figures in their life or moments in their life or people in their life to give them those moments of courage, of overcoming something, of achieving a big fucking win, of like defeating something in their life. So then they can show, like, have that. Sorry, I went back on my videos. I say like way too much. I'm so sorry. Continuing. I wish more people had a figure that provided them that moment of achieving something and overcoming fear, because I don't really have that moment. I might recently, in terms of just I've been developing my mental strength so I can overcome things like that. But I know for a fact, like, not a lot of people do, and me fucking included, until, I developed it for myself. Before, I had nothing. I had no sense of, when I was faced with that fear and anxiety block, I didn't know I could go through it because I didn't know how, like I feel like so many people say, oh my God, look, it's the ocean. I found it. More people just need that sense of confidence. People don't understand like the concept of anxiety. And anxiety in that sense, when you don't have something to look back on, it's so debilitating. You can't get through it. Like there's this fucking wall, and it just feels like you're in fucking Star Wars and someone's pushing you with the Force. That's how it feels. Like you can't fucking push through it. And it sucks and it's awful. And I just feel like, so many people say, oh, just push through it. I mean, in a sense, yes, you do have to just push through it. But some people don't know how. Some people don't know the feeling of pushing through it. Some people just don't have that. They've never felt it before in their life. So how can you expect someone who's never seen a big win or been able to push out fear like that, how are you going to expect them to just get over it? But for you out there that are resonating with this video and relating to it, I have some good news and I have some bad. I think the bad news, at least personally in my experience, obviously everyone's experiences are going to be different. In my experience, I don't think there is a simple solution for completely getting rid of fear. I don't think it's possible. I still feel those fucking awkward, gut-wrenching moments of that anxiety wall, like force pushing me back and basically telling me, like, you can't do this. Like, it'll be all over if you do this, is basically how I feel. Oh my God, look at that little polar bear. Oh, buddy. But it doesn't go away, I think the big thing to come through that is bravery, it's courage, it's perseverance, it's determination. And I feel like to work on those things is so difficult, especially when you're at square one, to work on those things, because how are you supposed to work on determination if you're not already determined? How are you supposed to work on discipline if you don't have any discipline? It's one of those things that to get started is so fucking hard, but it really is a goddamn snowball effect. You need to build those things up, and I feel like in order to build those things up, they come from a multitude of things. If you're not, pursuing things already, and you're not looking to win in certain things, and you feel like you're a person with no skill set, let me tell you, first of all, I relate with you completely. I fucking get it. I absolutely get it. So many people are talented at so many different interesting things. And for me, I feel like I'm talented at fucking nothing. I feel like the only thing that I have going for me is the fact that I will never fucking give up. I refuse to. And to be completely honest, it's out of fear. It's out of fear of being old and looking back on my life and having these massive regrets. But I think that type of fear is a fucking superpower, because it's not the type of fear that I feel like my life is a lie, but I feel like it's that existential type of, being a human fear. I feel like it's more guttural and it's more real. I feel like it's that raw, real fear that we are supposed to feel. Like that fear of like a fucking tiger coming to kill you. Like that's real fear and you should fucking listen to it. We're feeling fear of just fucking anything, of like social interactions and shit, because we feel like in our minds, like, pain is relative pain is relative and subjective. And so is, like threats. Threats are relative and subjective as well. And in your current situation, if you don't have enough experience, or you don't have enough courage, or, have the tools in your mind to know who you are and not care what other people think, then being ridiculed in social situations is like a fucking tiger attacking you. Your mind's putting it on the same pedestal because that's what's relative to you. That's what is damaging to you, because you're placing those things on such a high pedestal since you might not have them. Like for me, it was I was feeling rejection with my first ex-girlfriend, or my first girlfriend, that is now my ex-girlfriend. The reason like I had said yes is because of that rejection. Like I didn't have a father figure. So like a man and a woman being together is such an interesting combination to have that friend too. For me, it was like how like I would do anything to not jeopardize that. So I'll do whatever you say. But I really think to build all those things up, you need to know yourself more. Even if you have no skills like me, where you can continue to hone them and eventually achieve a win. If you feel like you still have nothing going on, if you don't feel like you're achieving anything, just know I feel you so deeply. I feel you so fucking much. I'm the fucking same. I'm the same. It's very constant. I feel like a loser. It's constant. I feel like nothing. It's constant that I feel like I have nothing special about me. But even through all of those things, and even though I don't feel like I have, a way to achieve a win, I've been working hard. I have been reading Stoicism in order to, be more calculated and calm about life, and just appreciate it more, be more thankful, and to be more courageous, because a lot of things that Stoicism talks about is impressions, and how situations don't have to be positive or negative. You get to decide how it's going to affect you. And this led to me journaling, and this led to me making a gratitude journal, and both of those things brought a lot of solace to my life. But it eventually led me to journaling about myself and like what I fucking thought. Like I think a lot of people, when they're asked like, who are you? They don't even know how to fucking respond. And guess what? I was fucking one of those people until like a year and a half ago. Like I remember saying to my current girlfriend right now, I said, if you asked me who I am and like things about me, I wouldn't be able to answer. Like I remember in fucking high school, like we do those icebreakers and shit, and it's not that I was embarrassed, it's just that I didn't have a fucking answer. What's your favorite cereal? What's your favorite show? What's your favorite type of music? It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what I like. I don't even know anything. And over time, and I began to know those things. I began to know myself. And then over time, I'm journaling, I'm reading Stoicism, I'm being grateful. I start to realize my interests, and I start to journal about them. I start to pick apart things in my life. What don't I like, and what should I change, and what can I actually do to actively change those things, and who am I? You know what I mean? What are my interests? What do I like? What am I like? Am I funny? Like, what's my humor like? What type of person am I? Am I patient? Am I mean? Do I get angry easily? Like anything. And then what kind of person am I? And then what kind of person do I want to be? Like, who is the perfect version of myself? And how do I get there? And I'm not saying you have to do all these things. To be honest, like it probably would help, but just getting to know yourself better and to really know who you are and appreciate who you are and love who you are. Basically, what I'm saying is you need to find a way to love yourself. And I can't find that for you. You need to find a way to love yourself, to adore yourself. Of course, you can have bad days. Those are going to happen. But on the majority of days, like, when you have nothing, like when everything comes crumbling down, like the only person you're left with is yourself. Like, do you love yourself enough where that's a positive thing or a negative thing, you know? And then this plays back into the fear. When you're feeling those fearful events, if you don't know yourself and you don't love yourself, you're not even going to give yourself the time of day, and you will lie to yourself. Like, you will fall into that fear because why, like, you know, you feel like you're worthless. Like, you're going to fall into that fear because you feel like you need something on the other side of that. But if you come to love yourself and you come to understand, you know, that fear won't go away, but you'll have the courage because it's like, I know who I am and I know what I want. And even though I feel this fear, I know that I have to step through it. And I felt like when I finally got to understand myself and know myself and love myself was when I was able to step through those fucking force barriers pushing me back of anxiety. Like it was fucking nothing. Like it was goddamn nothing. I was just able to fucking walk through them. Just walk through them. Because when you start to fucking love yourself, it's like, who cares? Who cares that I'm feeling fearful? I know what I want. Because I know myself. And I know that I need this. If you made it this far, I fucking love you. Thank you. But I have one last thing I want to leave you off on before we do our little outro. I care about you. And I care about every single fucking person who's been commenting and interacting with me. You guys are all fucking amazing. You guys are all awesome. And you've been so vulnerable with me, and you've been so... Oh my God. I think I've fucking found it. Oh my God, it's going to be right here. Oh my God, it's going to be beautiful. Oh no, this is actually awesome. I want you... Like, that's the whole point of this fucking channel. Like, sure, it's to talk about my feelings and offload, but when I'm not talking about my feelings and I'm just talking about a subject that I think would help people, like, the whole point of this video is because I think you matter, and I think you matter enough where I need to sit down, and right now it's 3:17 a.m. and I need to speak my thoughts so then this can help at least one fucking person. And I read all your comments. I know some of you are going through some fucking awful shit. Much worse than I've ever gone through. And so I do think you matter, and I think this video matters, and that's why I'm making it, and I hope it made you feel better. And I hope that you're able to push through the fear next time, because the next time you ever feel that anxiety barrier, I want you to remember this video, and I also want you to fucking remember that you matter, and you deserve to not lie to yourself, and you deserve to push through that shit. I got a little cute video this is the new tradition, okay? I got a little cute video for you that I'm going to play before I do my outro. So here it is.
There's a rainbow over your head.
Oh my God. I ain't seen a rainbow in a long time. I guess things gonna get better. Young, don't give up. Don't say the world is just against me. That's not true.
But hey man, you can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life.
Reach out to an old friend and tell him you miss him. Reach out to a current friend, tell him you want to hang out. And reach out to your parents and tell them you love them. Okay? Hang in there. You matter. You're fucking sick. You're fucking awesome. Okay? I love you. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next one.